Mikey continues to shine at Rangers. Jed Spence earns another England call-up for Thomas Tuchel's Three Lions. A Champions League record for Mickey van der Ven. And could Richarlison or Solanke leave to make way for a new striker? Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and I'm not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, let's get into it. TBR Football report that Mikey looked really impressive against Roma in the Europa League, and Tottenham Hotspur will be very pleased with his progression. The winger caused the Italian side plenty of issues throughout the clash at Ibrox, but Rangers failed to take any of their chances. Crucially, the 18-year-old's confidence looks to have taken off over recent weeks, and he has been taking responsibility in games for the Scottish side. Versus Roma, had 35 touches, completed 2 dribbles, made 2 key passes and created 1 big chance in the Europa League group stage clash. Tottenham had considered recalling Moore, however, they will be so pleased to see his progress is now making waves under the new management at Ibrox. The winger has admitted that he wants to start adding goals and assists to his game, having produced just 2 assists in 16 games. After the game against Roma, Moore told Rangers TV, "Yeah, I think we had chances, but including myself, I need to start scoring and assisting. So I think we had chances that we should have taken, and we were a lot better in the second half out of possession and in possession. So we had chances, but in the end, it wasn't enough." Rangers are back in action on Sunday when they face Dundee in the Scottish Premiership, and Moore will be eager to continue his good form. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have announced that Jed Spence has been named in the England squad once again as his country face 2 more FIFA World Cup qualifiers this November. In for the 3rd successive camp, Jed helped England secure their spot at the 2026 FIFA World Cup last month as he played the full 90 minutes in a 5-0 away win in Latvia. In front of the Three Lions this month are the final 2 World Cup qualifiers as they host Serbia before travelling to Albania on Sunday. Jed has 3 caps to his name. Spurs have reported that Mickey van der Ven made UEFA Champions League history with his outrageous goal against FC Copenhagen on Tuesday night. A swashbuckling run from his own box to our visitors' area, the defender carried the ball 67.7 metres before firing into the back of the net, which broke the record for the longest ball carry ending in a goal in the history of the competition, beating the previous best efforts of Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr., who ran 64.4 metres with the ball before scoring in the Spanish Giants' 4-2 win over Dortmund in October 24. Mickey now takes the crown for the record in the Champions League. Interestingly, despite breaking the Champions League record for the longest goal-ending carry, Mickey has not overtaken Sonny's near-identical effort against Burnley in 2019. A legendary forward carried the ball 72.3 metres on that day before stroking the ball home past Nick Pope. Tottenham can only sign Ivan Toney in January if they let Dominic Solanke or Richarlison go, sources have told Football Insider. Saudi-based Toney is Spurs manager Thomas Frank's preferred striker target as he looks to reunite with his former Brentford goalscorer. Brazil international Richarlison has not scored since 20th of September and has just 8 goals in his last 41 appearances for the club since the start of last season. Everton's former CEO Keith Wyness has told Football Insider that Richarlison is more likely to join the Toffees than Toney is in January, and so a potential avenue could open up for Spurs to pounce and get their desired move over the line. Frank is content to offload either Solanke or Richarlison after the turn of the year, and the latter certainly seems like the more obvious one of the two, considering his age and rumours around his future at the club. Football Insider revealed in October that Richarlison is considering leaving Tottenham soon after MLS club Orlando City held talks with his representatives over a potential move stateside. Okay, here's my thoughts on those stories today. Not much today because it's match day today when I'm at the date of filming, at the time of filming, should I say. So just a few stories here, but really good to see Mikey Moore getting minutes and getting a bit of confidence at Rangers. Didn't really start brilliantly for Mikey, did it, in Scotland? And there were rumours that Mikey could be coming back to Spurs in January, but looks now like he's forced his way into the thoughts of the new management structure there. So hopefully Mikey can get a good second half of the season, banging a few goals, get a few assists and come back to Spurs next summer and challenge for a position in the first team, hopefully, because that left wing slot, even though I do think we're going to strengthen in the left wing position, whether that be in January or the summer, Mikey Moore is definitely up there in that discussion. Personally, I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Congratulations to Jed Spence for again being recalled to the England squad. These two matches in November don't mean much at all, do they really? Because we've qualified for the World Cup anyway, but you have to go through the motions, as we all know. But I just wonder whether Thomas Tuchel is going to take the opportunity to give game time to players that he hasn't really had a chance to have a look at. It's difficult to tell with Tuchel what he's going to do. Obviously, loves Harry Kane, so you'd think that Kane would start in at least one of these games. And I hope Jed Spence gets a few minutes. I don't want him to play 90 minutes, that's for sure. I want to save his energy for Tottenham, because essentially these two games, as I say, don't really mean that much at all. But let's see how that goes. Hope Jed gets a few minutes. And the rest of our players, actually. This is always the time that worries me, the international break. I don't really like them at all. But you end up spending most of it checking in on how our players are doing, don't you? And hoping, fingers crossed, and really hoping that none of them picks up any injuries, because we don't want any more injuries, do we? Mickey van der Ven's ball carry, breaking that Champions League record. That's really good. A great record to have for Mickey van der Ven. Really surprising, actually, to see that Sonny's run was longer, the one against Burnley. But actually, when you look at it, he picks up the ball slightly deeper, Mickey van der Ven, than Son on Son's goal. But Son is actually nearer the goal when he fires in. So that's probably where that little bit extra meterage comes in. But that goal, I must have watched that, I reckon, close to 40 times this week, just on repeat. Fantastic goal. Love to see it. It's one of my favourite things to see players in full flight, really fast players like Mickey van der Ven. Very Bale-esque as well, as I've said before. Absolutely love seeing that. And if Mickey's got that in his locker, you'd love to see him do that in the Premier League, like, of course, he did up at Old Trafford when he set up Brennan Johnson for that goal. 2 seasons ago now, wasn't it? Brilliant Mickey van der Ven, and we need to tie him down to a new contract. Definitely get that done, Waldorf, Real Madrid. And finally, this story about either Richarlison or Solanke exiting the club, or having to exit the club if we're to get Ivan Toney. For me, if it's got to be one of the two, it would be Richarlison, if this story is true. I think a good move for Richie would be to go back to Everton. Sounds like the fans still love him up there. We saw him signing autographs the other week when we were up there. I just think it would be a really good move for him, fighting it out with Calvert-Lewin in the striker role. This would be a good move for me. Oh, of course, look, he might go stateside, he might go to the MLS, he might even go Saudi. But if he wants to stay in the Premier League, if he is to go in January, obviously got the World Cup in the summer, so Richarlison, you would think, is going to want to play in the top league for the next 6 months and then reassess his options. Perhaps a loan deal, something like that. I don't know, but we'll see how that goes. But time of recording, we've got Manchester United in a couple of hours. At home form isn't great, but after that good win against Copenhagen, let's hope we can push on that. It gives us a bit of confidence to get a result against Manchester United, because of course it is the last game before the international break, and we broke that particular hoodoo against Leeds in October, so that's the monkey off our back. But it would be lovely to go into this international break on the back of another win. But get down in the comments as always and let me know your thoughts right now as a Tottenham Hotspur fan, and as always, come on you Spurs.